What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Wild Card Weekend here on From the 50. We are live from the St. Louis, Missouri studios. TJ Weber, Zach Zook, Big Web, and Nick Yale on the road. I'm back producing today. Tolly had some official show business. He will not be here, so we're breaking it down without him. But the rest of the panel's here. Gentlemen, we have the first week of the playoffs here. First week of the playoffs is here.
How
Holy
about that?
Shit. This is crazy.
It's exciting.
It went by
2
in
extra
a flash.
games than we normally would, too.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, I like it. It's the season went way too fast, as it always does. We like the regular season. We like to be able to play fantasy, and it's a lot of fun having the big slate of games. But now it gets down to the nitty gritty: who's going to make it to the Super Bowl, who's going to get bounced first. And we've already had 3 games quickly, and we learned a lot about a couple teams. So we'll go over that in a minute. You can get involved all ways by commenting on Facebook down there in the comment section, or you can get involved always 314-877-8597. That is our text-in and call-in number. Let us know what you thought about Saturday's games and what you think about Sunday's 3 games coming up today. We usually have a different show where we pick 7 games, including an underdog pick, an Ace of the Week sponsored by Aces Wild in Columbia, Illinois, which also could be a lock, and a toilet bowl game of the week. No toilet bowl this week. We are doing a lock, an ace, and we are doing an underdog pick. Did we decide, are we taking the 3 from Saturday too? Did we decide that? No one really did great, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, seeing as how I went 0-3,
I
will not be
super. I
any
did
of
super
those 3
yesterday.
teams.
You did super yesterday?
I got 1 win.
Well, that's great. I got 1 too. Nick got 1. Zook got 0. I think we all, the most we had was 1 win. So that's great.
Tough
that's
spread.
not
Does
bad.
everybody have a dog today?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I have an underdog. I believe so. I think so. Yesterday was my main underdog was Indy, and that one hit. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a great day. And then all of a sudden the other 2 came in. I was like, okay, maybe a little different. So,
I
Yeah, man,
technically
what a
have
bad
no
pick
dog
Seattle
today.
was.
what's that?
I have no dog today.
You have no dog today.
No dog today.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
And all 3 dogs covered yesterday, by the way.
All right, well, let's nix the underdog pick. Do we want to count Saturday? Let's say no. Let's not do it.
Congratulations. We had a 1-game lead on you.
Good job, Zook.
You are absolved. You're off the Zook.
Because I don't know, we haven't really talked about that. That's the goal for next season, by the way, is to have all this figured out by preseason, not by an hour
the
before
difference, man.
the
The
show.
difference.
It is a BOTB difference, but we're trying to get
Yeah, I
away from
wasn't
that
really
this
sure what we
year.
were doing as far as that went.
Well, it's kind of hard to have an underdog and a lock, too, when you only have the
Only a few games going on.
3 games on Sunday.
Well, because we were
so-
trying to decide what to do with, the fact that we have a show on Sundays, but then there's 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday. So, we did the videos yesterday. You saw our picks, but I don't know if we were going to count those. It's just like, you got to figure it out. Yeah, you got to figure it out.
Football's
So,
meant to be played on Sunday.
what'd you say, Nick?
So we all sucked, so just don't count them.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. I think that's usually what the professionals do.
That
is
is
if
my
they suck, they just
motto
kind of
in
hide
life.
the record. I think that's what
Slide
we're going to
it
do.
aside.
Slide it aside because nobody did great.
If I sucked, I'm
Terrible.
not going to count it. A great
I
life
could have
motto.
gained a game on Zook, but we'll let him have it.
If anybody was 2-1 or 3-0, they'd be bitching right now. But
Yeah.
nobody was even close.
But by the way, Big Web's best bet of the week. We have full transparency. We're going to accept the loss yesterday. We're going to suck up the dollars. We're fine. Full transparency always on Big Web's best bet of the week.
Always, yeah. Big Web's best bet of the week. We'll hear his best bet for today. So we'll be talking about that very shortly. But it's gonna be one of those days. I think it's a bounce back for everybody.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those days that we say, what's Saturday? What happened Saturday? I don't know. There wasn't any games on Saturday. Who cares? No big deal. And you get high pitched like that, and that's how you describe it. So we go to Sunday, and we're gonna have 3 more games, which we'll pick later on in the show. We'll update the overall rankings because again, if you forgot your picks yesterday for the From the 50 pick'em, you can still get the other 3 games right now. They haven't kicked off yet. We're still going for this NFL jersey. We still got some people going for this free NFL jersey for who wins the NFL pick'em for our From the 50 show.
I even picked all 3 of the games yesterday, and I still got 0. So
Yeah.
you're not even a game behind.
That's true.
Who can beat Zook?
Not a lot of people had a great day, so you can honestly still make up a lot of traction with just 3 games. So get on there right now, make your picks if you forgot about
No,
that.
I didn't. No.
We do pick through the playoffs, so make sure you go pick them right now on CBSSports.com. So yesterday we had 3 games. Started out with a great game, Bills and Indy. Finished off with 2 not-so-great games, really not a lot of fun. Alex Smith didn't play for the Washington football team. You saw Taylor Heineke come in. It was kind of electric. But overall pretty... What's that? Your internet's not great.
I said the same as Battlehawks' own, Tyler Heineke.
Oh, yeah. He was great. He looked great. We'll talk about that in a minute. But he was awesome. But that game kind of boring. The game before that, too, the Rams, Wofford gets out early, and Goff comes in and looked better with a broken thumb than he did when he's healthy and played pretty well. But again, not a great game by Seattle, just a blah game. But first, that Bills and Indy game. Going into it, I heard Tolly talking a ton of shit coming into the week because I kept telling him, I really want to take Indy this week. I really like them plus the 6.5. I really like them plus 7.5. He goes, take them whatever you want. Take them -9. Take them plus 9.5. 16.5. The Bills are going to destroy them. I said, all right, relax. It's going to be okay. Take a deep breath. I said, Indy's going to be able to run the football because Buffalo hasn't faced a great running back in quite some time. They're going to be able to stay within range. That's what they've done all year. They've been able to stay within range and cover games. And what did they do yesterday? They almost won the damn game. They should have won the damn game. Frank Reich made some crazy, stupid decisions.
Frank Reich became a riverboat gambler all of a sudden and went nuts. He went ahead and went for 2 with a 6-point difference, Zook. I have no idea why you would ever do that.
It was insane. And I don't think anybody understood that decision. When he went down by a touchdown, you kick an extra point, you're down by 7. You still have plenty of time to go. If at that point, then the next drive, you want to go for 2.
They did the old down 14 when they score so they were down 2 touchdowns. They scored a touchdown to get within 1 touchdown and went for 2 rather than kick the PAT.
Yes.
So do you know why they do that? It's an analytical thing.
That's what everybody kept saying.
I hate it. I'm not pro this move. I would not do it if I was a coach because guess what? They never fucking get it.
Never works.
You know who made up that frickin' rule? It's the casinos. Hey, I got a great analytic. Let's make some fucking money. Let's just fuck the better and just, let's do this. Let's insert this bullshit.
Big Web Football League.
Big Web Football League is not allowed.
No going for 2 unless conventional wisdom dictates
it. Unless it's ideal, unless you have to tie it.
No, and there's no more shooting people, but they're going to get their ass beat if they do that again. That's bullshit.
Just a mob
But the other time, Frank Reich goes for it on 4th down in the first half when you can always use 3 points, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And this clown goes on for. I go, what are you doing? What are you doing, Frank?
Yeah, that was insane.
And then they clanged one, and my buddy texted me, "Bong." Thank you very much.
What after you took
Rodrigo Blankenship was the biggest lock in college football. And I'm sitting there watching that game, and I had Buffalo. I'm like, well, there goes the spread right there. Rodrigo's going to fuck it up. And he shanks it like that. He never misses from that close.
No, and that was the thing they were so sloppy. Pittman dropped a touchdown pass. They had 1st and goal from I believe the 3, and they go run. They get stuffed. They go another run up to the 1-yard line. Another run. They get back 3 yards. So now it's 4th and goal from the 4. And that's the decision Dad was talking about when they didn't kick the field goal, and Reich goes for it on 4th and 4.
If you get stuffed to the goal line and you want to go for it on 4th, I'm personally for that because I'm of the mindset that you get down to the 1-yard line. We're playing in the year now 2021 of our Lord. Like you got to score touchdowns. Like you don't get to the 1-yard line to kick freaking field goals. And if you don't get it, the opponent's going to receive the ball on the 1-yard line where you have a high possibility to either, 1, get a safety, or if you can get a stop within a 1st down or 2 or force a 3 and out, you're getting the ball back in midfield anyway. So, but when you get pushed back to the 4, that's a much less higher percentage play.
Huge difference.
Much less higher percentage play. So you're basically forced to pass from the 4, and you only have 14 yards from the line of scrimmage to the back of the end zone. It's not a lot of room. It's going to be very congested. You have 11 players in that 14-yard space. I think you should have kicked the field goal once you had the loss on 3rd. And I think Frank Reich had already made up in his mind before the 3rd down play that he was going to go for it no matter what if he didn't get it. Yeah. And he didn't properly reassess the situation once they lost 3 yards.
Just too early in the football game. And when you get back on the 4 and you're going to pass, when you pass, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And especially, I know his mindset. Like, I do respect the mindset he had. We're playing against one of the best offenses in the NFL, the hottest team in the NFL right now. If we want to beat these guys, we have to take shots. We have to take chances. But you're right. If you go in there and you're losing yardage on 3rd and goal on the 1, you go back to the 4-yard line, 4th and goal from the 4, it's not going to work. Usually. I don't even know what the percentages are. He saw something different, but I think he was so locked into, we got to be aggressive, that he wasn't aggressive, that he was too aggressive. There were some times, too, that he wasn't aggressive enough. He had a couple times when they were just pounding the ball. They were just absolutely going through the Buffalo Bills. They got into their zone. I heard the color commentator on the radio say, he goes, Frank Reich's going to go for it on fourth, and they're going to keep running the ball. They're going to pass the ball down the field because they had like 2 or 3 straight shots to T.Y. Hilton and I think Pittman down the field in a row. Bing, bang, boom, first down. Then they run the ball Taylor once, run the ball Taylor twice. Then on third down and like 9, they do like a little screen pass out to the right. And I'm like, you just threw downfield 10 to 15 yards, and it's working. Like, what are you doing? Like, who cares what the game plan is at that point? Stay with the hot hand. Like, Phillip was throwing the ball well. So that's what they were talking about. They were just they weren't well coached in that game at all.
Nick, I told TJ the car on the way back yesterday, I said, if we were living in the suburbs of Indy, I would absolutely be wanting this guy's head. Because, I mean, they were right in the game. They were hell, what did it end up? A 3-point difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a
3-point game.
Difference.
We just described 2 different plays that were at least 3 points each.
Yeah.
And had they kicked the PAT, it would have been a 2-point difference, and the field goal would have won them the game instead of tied it.
What do you think, Nick?
Buffalo did have so many opportunities, too, to keep that game covered because Indy just, when they were down 2 touchdowns, turned it on and just marched right down the field. Indy should have won that football game.
Yeah. They had their opportunities.
What do you guys think about the officiating gaffe towards the end?
Oh, that fumble?
The fumble situation.
Yeah. It ended up not mattering. But,
Yeah.
No, it was truly a fumble, right?
The game should have been over.
It was. It was obvious because he went down, was untouched, got up. They saw his knee come back up off the field, then it got knocked out. That's a fumble. And it should have been Buffalo Bills football because in that situation, let's say Indy does get it done. Let's say they have the opportunity not to throw a Hail Mary, but they get to kick a field goal. They go to overtime. That's an overtime game. I know you're the favorite.
That's what I was praying for, to get that spread back.
Imagine if you lose that. If you lose that as a Buffalo Bills fan because of that call, and Indy comes down and ties it. It doesn't matter. They won the football game, but that can change things. Absolutely can change things. So it was very sad. Maybe the last throw we'll ever see Phillip Rivers do, maybe ever, but definitely with the Colts, I think. Didn't even make it to the end zone on the Hail Mary. Didn't even make it to the end zone, poor guy.
The memes
It'll be
were...
ever. He said yesterday in his post-game press conference that he's either playing for the Colts or that he's gonna be coaching on the sidelines in Alabama. So that pretty much.
I think it's possible he plays for them next year.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's possible that when if they draft somebody high, that he starts basically for one more season and then he hangs him up.
You think they'll start him though?
Joe Flacco situation type.
Yeah.
I guess they'll take a shot at like we said, Carson or trying.
He did lead him into the playoffs this year.
And really, when you look at yesterday's game, TJ said it too. We were looking for Taylor and Hines to be rolling like crazy, and they did. But Phil kept him in the game too.
Phil was those long passes through the middle to T.Y. Hilton and Pittman that were like, what the hell's happening?
Jack Doyle was the superstar in that drive.
Yeah. No, you're right. So, interesting game, but I was happy because our pick covered, but the Bills won the game. I wanted the Bills to win to see them later, but I also wanted to win the game, so it worked out for us. So it seemed like a good start to the day, And then we go to Seattle, and you got the Rams against Seattle. A game that, I'll be honest, my best pick of the day, I thought Seattle was going to roll them because of the quarterback situation. Whether it was Wofford, whether it was Goff, it didn't matter. Like, Goff was banged up. Wofford is just inexperienced, and, I just putting that guy in a playoff situation, probably not going to work out well. Wofford gets hurt early. Jamal Adams lowered the shoulder on him, hit the top of his head. Very scary moment. I mean, he was totally out of it. And then they forced to put Goff in, and Goff played well. He did. And then Akers helped that. Cam Akers definitely opened up the passing game for him a lot. But Goff came in, and the first couple passes were pretty rough. But overall, he settled in pretty good, and I think they found a rhythm. And mainly, it's the fact that Seattle's offense could not get going. I don't know what Russell Wilson and his offensive line do in practice, but he is running for his life every play. But then also watching that shows me that he also doesn't really have a good pocket presence sometimes. He creates some of those problems. He forces plays too much, and he is running for his life on purpose because he doesn't trust his offensive line. He saw some frustration from DK Metcalf and some of the guys on the sideline. So it was a mess. What do you guys think of the game?
He's been leaving the pocket early this year, especially late in the year, just because he's kind of feeling something that may or may not be there. The Rams going into this football game, I knew they were going to be solid on the defensive side of the ball. I wasn't sure what they were going to do on offense. That's why I really like the under in that football game going in. I knew Seattle was kind of in a funk as far as scoring, and the D-back for the Rams, shut down D-back for the Rams.
Oh, Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey shut those guys, shut Metcalf down the time before, but he did lose it. Russell had that one, he floated over the top and got that score, and so he did give up some points this time. But, no, I thought it was going to be a kind of a sloshy football game, back and forth, low scoring, and we had a couple tough breaks hurting the under yesterday with pick six and just a fumble late.
Yeah.
That really hurt me.
I cast a parlay on the over 42.5 there, so was happy with what Goff was able to do after he came in. I thought we were going to see more from Seattle, honestly, in that offense come playoff time, but just a better coaching job by Sean McVay to come in with a game plan that no matter who your quarterback is, it was going to be Cam Akers. I think I recommended, or I placed a prop for, it was a 10-1 bet on Cam Akers over 100 yards and a touchdown. That smacked easy. And going into that game, though, just kind of disappointing from Seattle. Metcalf did get his 2 touchdowns, but other than that, not too much from Seattle. And you don't really see that too often from a Pete Carroll coach team in playoffs to really lay an egg like they did, but was happy that we still got the over and cashed the parlay.
Yeah, that was nice. It was a game that I honestly was just shocked by. I just didn't expect what we saw. To be honest.
Me too.
I just didn't see it happening. So.
I have a couple of thoughts about both Sean McVay and Russell Wilson in this game, and I'm interested to see what you guys think. Last year on the midweek show, I remember I talked about this. I did a segment on Russell Wilson, and basically my point was he's still an all-time talent, right, in a perennial top 5 quarterback. But I think he's one of the more overrated quarterbacks and players in the NFL. I think he's historically done this and had performances like this. He has consistently had a run game at his back. Mm-hmm. He's consistently had a good defense, with the exception of this year with the Legion of Boom in the last year or two. And we've seen how poor the team has become. They've been like easy one and dones in the playoffs the last couple of seasons. They did win the playoff game last year. They beat Josh McCown. Congratulations. But I think he's historically just made these terrible mistakes. He holds the ball forever.
Sure.
One of the highest time to throws in the league. He consistently sacks himself by putting his line in a bad spot, and his line isn't the best in the league by any stretch, but he will move to the left or move to the right and put his offensive line in a bad position consistently. He hardly ever steps up into the pocket unless he's already looking for a lane to run, and he makes at least a couple of just WTF throws every time out. I mean, and a lot of time the DBs drop it, so he gets away with it. Mm-hmm. But it just, I've watched him for years now, and I'm just like, I always just am left thinking like, sure, he's really good, and I think he can heat up about as hot as anybody in the league. And we saw that for the first 5 weeks of the season or so. And he can do that at any time, which I think makes him so dangerous, and it's why he is a top 5 quarterback. But I think there's always there's that little piece missing. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is better. That's why Rodgers and Brady are better. And that's why I think I don't think he belongs in the same tier as those guys. And he's thought of as just this unbelievable, like, best quarterback type player in the league. And I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah. He showed some times there where he's just not consistent. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know what their future is, but they are loaded with talent, but they just can't put it together.
It looks like they need some pieces, mainly in the trenches, I think. They've been more solid on defense, and then all of a sudden it's kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on that one. But some offensive linemen, I think, is going to help that team along.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Paul says the Bills' D looked like shit. They will get it together. They will beat Pittsburgh and Kansas City. It's a bold statement, I say. I mean, so it looked like a flashback, yesterday's game, when they were almost going to give it up like they did to the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the same. Josh basically went on, I don't know if it was a radio station or just a post-game press conference last year, basically said, like, I tensed up. I messed up. I was way too nervous.
He freaked out. He was like a deer in headlights.
And so that game...
Didn't he lateral off a scramble?
I believe
he tried to lateral it to somebody.
Yeah, you're right. He did. So you watch that game, and if you're a Bills fan yesterday, like, holy shit, this is supposed to be our year. We might lose to the fucking Colts in the first round. And they almost gave it up. They should have lost the way that the game was set up and the way the Colts messed up a lot of those situations.
Yeah, but the Colts have been a tough matchup for a lot of teams this year. I think Paul might be onto something. Nothing's going to be a blowout here in these playoffs, but
survive in advance.
I'll tell you, Buffalo against a team like Pittsburgh, I kind of like that matchup for Buffalo better than I do against Indy.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a fun one today. We'll talk about it in a minute, but Pittsburgh and Cleveland, where those guys stand, and we'll get our opinions on that in a little bit. The last game that we'll break down from yesterday, Tampa against Washington. Brady and the boys get it done, but Taylor Heinicke, I mean, honestly, the dude was a baller yesterday. He walked in, backup quarterback for the XFL St. Louis Battlehawks. Cacaw, bitches. And he went out there, and Alex Smith goes out. They call him out, I think, 2 hours before the game or 3 hours before the game with a calf injury. Obviously, Dwayne Haskins was cut. He's no longer on the team. So Taylor Heinicke, step up, big boy. Let's go. Backed up Cam Newton for a while in Carolina, and then obviously we talked about the Battlehawks. But going into that game, the Bucs were a 10-point favorite, I believe. It was a first at 8.5. Then Heinicke gets called as a starter and it goes to 10, which was still wild to me. I thought that was going to be a 13.5, 14-point spread. They must have seen something in Heinicke, and they were right because they stayed in the game. They were at one point, they scored a touchdown, were down by 2, went for 2, and missed it, so they're down 18-16. And then from there on, Tampa kind of took control. But it was a little scary for a while. When Heinicke was like throwing darts through the middle to Cam Sims, to McLaurin. They weren't really running the ball well, but they didn't have to. Then he gets that nice run. He gets the pylon on the left side, and people are like, who the hell is this kid? Who is this? And I thought at that point, Washington was going to win the game. Because once you get Taylor Heinicke playing and balling out, like, here comes Chase Young. Like, these guys are going to just step up, get a turnover, and win the game. Luckily, because I want to see Brady go far for the story, Brady and them got it done. But, I mean, Taylor Heinicke was legit. Like, I thought I'd see him in week 2. I thought we were going to see him another playoff game next week. What do you guys think of that one?
That kid, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he could be a possible quarterback of the future for that team, right? I mean, not like they're sitting on anybody else.
No.
No,
not really.
When he dove for that pylon, I'm like, wow. I mean, that was seemed like a veteran kind of play, you know?
Yeah, he's an athlete for sure. I don't want to be too much of a prisoner of the moment. I think if you roll him out over the course of a 16-game season, he'd struggle. But it was a nice performance, a nice moment for him. I believe before he was the backup in Carolina, I think his NFL career started out as the third-string guy in Minnesota, if I remember correctly. And I think before he got signed to Washington's practice squad, Ron Rivera had brought him back. Obviously, Ron Rivera was the head coach of Carolina,
right?
As head coach of WFT, had the connection to him, and then brings him back when they started having the quarterback drama with Haskins. But I believe he was the quarterback that had to. He was at Old Dominion wrapping up like a master's degree or something like that, and when he got signed to the off the practice squad to the active roster, he had to leave and postpone his finals so he could go play in the NFL. And here he is starting a NFL football game against Tom Brady on primetime television in the NFC playoffs. So yeah, I mean, definitely a cool moment. But I thought the Bucs were really always in control of the game, even when it did get a little hairy. You're right though, when they had the touchdown and the 2-point to tie. It's like, well, if the defense can get a stop, Chase Young can make a big play or something like that, you could be looking at the Bucs going home, but I never really felt that worried for them during the game.
Nick, what'd you think about that one?
Yeah, it was one of those matchups, was my best bet of the day on Washington. I got it at 9, but we had it at 8.5, which was still fine. Washington defense is just too good to give up so many points to even a Tampa Bay team that had a really good offense. Was clicking. I mean, Tom Brady, when come playoff time, is always going to show up. But people don't give enough credit to what Washington has done this year, even though their record doesn't really showcase that. They are a football team on the defensive side of the ball, and were able to do enough last night to at least keep it close. And, I mean, again, I was betting on Alex Smith playing. I think that's why the number was where it was at. If like I said, if Alex Smith had been ruled out earlier in the week, then that number probably would have jumped a little bit higher. And but Taylor Heinicke, Battlehawks own, showing up. So I appreciated that for not going 0-3 yesterday.
Yeah, it was a fun game for anybody that had Tampa. I was in agreement that I thought it was going to be a blowout once Smith was out. I thought Alex Smith was the only option they had. I know they had a good defense, but if Alex Smith wasn't a quarterback, they weren't scoring any points. Heinicke did all right. So let us know what you think about Taylor Heinicke's performance yesterday. And but regardless, we will see Tampa next week, and I think it's the teams that people want to see, and except the Rams. I wanted to see Seattle in there, but obviously they played like shit, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's get to last week's standings. So, gentlemen, we look at last week. Zook once again crowned the king, 5-2. I mean, what a good end to the regular season, Zook. Congratulations.
Yeah, you hit a couple of parlays week 17 and then get humbled immediately on Saturday afternoon. So we're going to look to get back on track today.
But Zook goes 5-2. He's 64-53-2 now. Nick goes 2-5. He's 58-60-1. Big Web goes 2-5, 53-63-3. And 3-4 for me, 51-67-1. So this is where it gets interesting in the fact that you have. I'm only 2 games back from Big Web, or I guess he's got some ties on there too. I guess what is it? What's the math on that?
The ties don't count for anything.
Three ties to 1 tie. So I think that's 3.5, 4.5 games, something like that. Regardless, I got some time.
Let's just turn all the ties into wins and eliminate the math.
No, that's not fun at all.
I don't have a freaking clue.
I just say you're 2 games back. You don't count ties at all.
You don't count ties at all? Okay.
Not in betting.
Bullshit on that one.
So I think that we'll ask Tolly. He's a smart one. He's the math whiz on this crew.
The biggest issue that's going on here is there's fewer and fewer games each week, TJ, and it's going to get tight.
We didn't count yesterday, but from now on we'll count every
single playoff. Why did we count
game.
yesterday? We all picked up a game on the winner.
Let's count playoff. Let's count it. There we go.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Not counting it in? Is these standings?
No. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, no, forget it. No, we already decided that. It's over.
Well, no, we're picking through playoffs. I'm saying, do we use yesterday's games or not? That's my thing.
Do. I mean,
I think you do too. We just gained one on the leader.
Okay, let's do it then. All right, shit. Sorry, Zook. We're changing on the fly.
No, that's fine.
You're not off the Zook anymore.
Shocker. Yeah. All right, well, let's take those standings then. So, I'm only a couple games back. We got plenty of time to go, and let's see if me and Dad are on the same side. Let's look though at the standings for the free NFL jersey that we're going to be giving away here. So this is very important. You got Andrew Sherping, who's got a 3-game lead now, 4-game lead actually over anybody that can win it. So Zook on the panel is obviously in second place overall. He cannot win the jersey. Sherping is in first, 136. Lulu is in 132. I have to give her a doggy jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say, if she wins, I will buy her a little dog jersey.
Hessler has made a huge comeback. He's now 132. He had a rough start to the year, or a good start, and then just kind of trailed off, as we talked about. But he's back. He's at 132. 131 for Joe Tolley and Laura. Nick is in 7th, tied with Tammy at 130. I'm at 129 with Amanda K. Roberts. 128, Colby Wedwick 127, and Big Web down at 123. So it's it's okay. There's plenty of time. Still in the playoffs.
How many football games are possible next week? How many
you
games?
You got 6 again next week. You got 4 the week after, then the Super Bowl.
Yes.
No.
6, 4, 2, 1?
4 next week. 4 next week.
4 next week.
4 next week, then 2.
4, 2, 1. So there's only
4,
7 games
but
left.
I think we should do
today.
I think starting next week, because I just thought of this, we'll do a pick, all the picks, and an over-under, which counts as a win. You know what I'm saying? So you do an over-under pick as well, and that counts as a win or loss. So we get an extra pick in there.
Are you talking about these standings?
Yes.
You're trying to gain more games.
Why would I do that?
Stop.
That sounds like somebody that'd be in last place.
If you want to institute that next August, we'll do it. But right now, we're not adding games to the last place guy. We're not doing it.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It has nothing to do with
Nick,
the standings.
your
I
thoughts?
just think it's a smart idea for content.
It's absolute bullshit. No, we're not doing that. Any new rules, new regulations will be added in to next year. No on the fly. All games still count.
You sound like a fantasy football commissioner. How many times have I heard
It will
that?
be discussed in our August ownership meetings in Nevada.
In
Nevada.
All right, well, we'll go ahead. We'll use yesterday's games, and next week we might do an over-under. Or next year. Sorry,
next
apologize.
year.
Sorry,
Get
everybody's
right.
getting really upset about this shit. Okay, here we go. All right, well...
Accusing you of trying to cheat.
No, I'm not cheating at all. I'm honestly, all I'm doing is just bringing up ideas.
We're just calmly accusing you of cheating.
He's a salesman.
Yeah.
He's got it in his blood.
No, all I'm doing is just trying to just show the people and give them more entertainment. That's all I'd like to do. It has nothing to do with my benefit.
We know your bullshit. I've taught you this shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know it.
No idea what you're talking about.
Great deflection.
Right, let's get to the games today. So we have 3 for the wild card weekend slate to end here on Sunday. We're going to go with FanDuel Sportsbook and their odds today. I'm trying to think where we start. I think it's Baltimore and Tennessee.
Yes.
It's the first game, which should be at noon Central Time. Baltimore is minus 3.5 currently, boys. So you got that hook in there now. It was 3, I believe. It's at 3.5. That's where we're going to pick it. What do you think, Zook?
I'm not going to change my pick. I'm going to stick with Baltimore, but if you bet it, just buy the half point, okay? Save yourself the grief. I think the Ravens are going to get over the playoff hump and get off the schneid in the postseason. The difference in this game last year was the Tennessee Titans was a top 10. Tennessee Titans defense was a top 10 unit. That's not the case this year. The Tennessee Titans defense has been in shambles. They got lit up by the Packers in Week 16. They have been lit up for 30-plus points by the likes of rosters like the Texans earlier this year. This offense is legitimate. It's a top 5 unit. But the defense for Tennessee is, I think, what's going to lose them this game. I don't think that they have the manpower to stop the Ravens' rushing attack, and I think the Ravens are hungry. I think that they want, revenge game narrative, especially against the Titans team that embarrassed them as a team off a bye in the postseason last year. I just like the Ravens. I think that the tables have kind of shifted for this game this year as opposed to last year.
Dad?
Yesterday we learned a lot, and that is, as far as betting these games in the playoffs, you have to buy points. I know I've been on buying points all year, but this, in the playoffs, these guys are too good at putting these lines together. You got to buy points down. And yesterday we had Tampa correct because on my bet, we had Tampa correct because we bought them down. We had Indy correct because we bought them up. You got to buy points right here. I'm buying, and because all the bullshit that goes on, I'm buying Baltimore down to a flat pick 'em here. And so anyway, but as far as this spread goes, give me Baltimore to cover the 3.5. I think they got enough. Third down defense for Titans is bullshit. They can't stop anybody on third down. I think they're very porous there. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth football game, a lot of points.
Nick?
Yeah, this is just going to come down to who has the better game plan. It's really a coaching thing. Baltimore getting Calais Campbell back, that's certainly going to help them on their defensive side of the ball. And can they take Derrick Henry out of the game early? That's what really they're going to have to do. I'm going to stick with Baltimore at the 3.5. I am teasing this one up to 10.5 in favor of the Titans, and the over up to 61.5 from 54. So again, like Big Web said, at this point in the playoffs, these games are too close. You saw it with Washington last night, covering the hook there, that extra half point. And then you saw it, I think, in the in the Buffalo game, they weren't able to cover it there. So these games are going to be tight, and that's why I like Baltimore, but I am teasing it up for Tennessee as well.
Hey, Nick, real quick, you said you were going to buy it up to 61. Are you going under?
I'm going under, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you know what this means. Like, everybody picks the Ravens, so the Titans are going to win. So I'm taking the Titans. I mean, it's just pretty obvious.
The last
pretty
spot.
Simple. Honestly, I thought about
simple.
It's not that bad, though. Like, the 3.5 there with Tennessee, like you're in a very safe position all day there. Like,
yeah, you're in a good spot. And the thing is, with the Titans, they're a roller coaster. They're either the best team in the NFL or they're a mediocre squad that can't do anything. So we'll see what the Ravens got. I don't know. The hook really got me here. I like the Ravens at 3 to push, at 2.5 definitely, but 3.5 is a tough number. And now that everybody's picking the Ravens, it's obvious. Congratulations to me on the way. Got to take a shot here. So
Congratulations to me.
Congratulations, I win another one. So I'll go ahead and take the Tennessee Titans in this one and not even look back, even a little bit.
TJ having his own award show in the middle of the show.
Speaking of hooks, the Bears are at the Saints at 4:40 this afternoon. I believe it's 3:40 Central. Bears are now 10.5. They gave him the half, plus 10.5.
The Lord giveth the hook and the Lord taketh it away, Big Web. So we get on the wrong end of the hook with the Ravens, but we're on the right end of it with the Bears. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears plus 10.5 points. That's too many points to give in a playoff game. Now, I know I was on the opposite side of it with the Bucs versus the Washington football team, but that football club was 7-9, and although the Bears are only one game better at 8-8, I think their defense is very, very good. And Mitch Trubisky, aside from the Packers game, has really played well, and the offense has been a lot better. David Montgomery, third in the league in the NFL this season in rushing as well. So if they can get that going and get a little play action, open some things up in the passing game for Mitch Trubisky, I think they can keep this thing close. Mainly, I'm betting this number because of the Bears defense, though. Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks are going to show up to play today.
Dad?
I agree with that. I'm glad to have the 10.5 now. This game scares me as far as if there's only one team that can blow the other team out. New Orleans can blow out Chicago. Chicago can't blow out New Orleans.
Right.
So the 10.5 is a bit scary. I actually, all truth, I'm buying this down to way down. New Orleans minus 2.5. I'm buying it the other direction. But for this bet right here, I'm going to take Chicago plus the 10.5. I think same reasons. Their defense is going to keep them in the football game. I like the way Montgomery's been running the ball lately. But I will say this: we looked at this yesterday. Chicago scored 30 points for 4 games in a row late in the season. But when you look at those 4 defenses, they weren't very stellar defenses. Right. I think New Orleans is a much better defense. But, so yeah, Chicago's got to work to stay in this football game, and I think they will.
What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I hate the number here, but I'm picking a spot here and going with New Orleans and the powerful offense that they have with Alvin Kamara and Drew Brees. Drew Brees doesn't have to do too much with Alvin Kamara on the field. Make him work. Just toss him the ball, let him run out in space, and that's going to be the key for the Chicago defense. Can they catch Alvin Kamara out in space? Certainly they can try to put the pressure on Brees, but Brees, that ball is going to be out pretty quick. Looking at the other side, you have Mitch Trubisky. I'm not Mitch Trubisky the playoff quarterback. I really don't think he is. He's done some really great things, putting up 30 points against some shitty teams down the stretch. But this is playoffs, and you're going to have Cam Jordan coming at you. You're going to have Marshawn Lattimore in that secondary, and you're in New Orleans. I just don't see it for Chicago here. 10.5 is scary, and that hook is a great spot for you guys that are betting Chicago. But I'm going with New Orleans and picking a spot that New Orleans can win this one big.
It's never a bad moment to have the good team in the Saints against the Bears. You know, it could be a mismatch. But I'm going to go ahead and agree with Big Web and Zook. I'm going to leave Nick on an island and take the 10.5. I just think, with Mitch's comments this last week, too, he basically publicly said he wants to air it out more. They need to air it out more. So we'll see if Nagy listens to him. But I do think that they have a good enough team to move the football, to keep it close. And even if New Orleans pulls away late, I think they win by 10 at the most. So that hook is a real big game changer there. A lot of hooks this week, to me, are huge for the underdogs, I think. So I'm going to go ahead. We already saw it work with Indy. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears plus 10.5, and I think that's going to be a good game, but I think the Saints will pull away late, but just not enough. All right, the last one. We have the game of the day, maybe the game of the weekend. Cleveland against the Steelers. The Browns are getting 5.5 on the road.
Yeah, this one's moving in the Browns' direction, right? I mean, I think it was minus 6.5 Steelers. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Pittsburgh Steelers in this football game. Big Web, you mentioned it in your video, and you talked about how the Browns players have COVID. They're missing some coaches. They're really kind of playing this game with one hand tied behind their back. And it's a shame because this is the first time they made the postseason in such a long time. They really do have a good squad with a talented defense and a good run game under what I presume will be the coach of the year in Kevin Stefanski. But I think because they're playing shorthanded in this one, I was probably going to take the Steelers anyways. I'm definitely taking the Steelers now. I'm going to go with the franchise that's been there before, that's done it time after time. This is kind of Big Ben's swan song, I think, in the AFC playoffs. And I think that his experience is going to kind of win the day for Pittsburgh. Also, that's a very talented defense they have. Mm-hmm. The Steel Curtain is back a little. And despite some of the injuries they've had to Bud Dupree and Devin Bush, that defense is still very talented, and I think they're going to be able to stop the Browns' rushing attack.
You know, I agree with everything you said. It is a damn shame for Cleveland that they ran up against this matchup first round, because they do have a good team and another team that just needs a few pieces to be really solid. But Pittsburgh in this spot, because, I mean, hell, we were all on them 3-4 weeks ago where they flopped like crap and they didn't look like the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this is the playoffs. Tomlin's got the boys going, and they're just too solid against the run. Cleveland's all about the run. I think they're going to shut Cleveland's run game down, and then you got Mayfield running around. So give me Pittsburgh here. Buy it down, boys and girls. Buy it down, but give me Pittsburgh here.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm flipping the script here. I'm going with Cleveland +6. I'm also buying it up to +13 just to give me a better number in my teaser that I'm doing. But the Steelers are in shambles right now. They are a little banged up on the defensive side of the ball. Get some of those guys back. COVID's not going to be an issue in this one. Kevin Stefanski's out with COVID above the coaching staff, but the players are all good to go. So you're going to see a healthy dose of that run game. And I think with those injuries, Pittsburgh's going to have some holes in that defense, much like they have had in recent weeks. And that's going to be a fun one, though, because the Steelers players are pissed off. The Browns players are pissed off. This could be the best game of the day. I do think Cleveland has a chance to win this game outright, though, too.
I'm going to leave Nick on an island again. I'm taking Pittsburgh in this one. So, it's 5.5. It's under a touchdown. I like that a lot. And I believe the Browns' left tackle's also out today. So, I mean, if that's the case, then, Pittsburgh's defense is going to be all over them. They're going to be solidified on the run and the run only, so you can really key on that. And let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Baker Mayfield's first ever playoff start. The guy's been a roller coaster so far since he got in the league. We're going to find out real quick if he's ready for playoff football. I don't think he is. I think the Steelers' defense dominates.
I think you could see 2019 Josh Allen.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Especially without his head coach. It's just the Browns just have too much shit going on right now for this to only be a 5.5-point spread. Like, honestly, this lined up to be a 7.5, like, easily, in my opinion. 5.5 to me, you easily have to go. And I'll say the word easy, I'll say the word lock, I'll say the word love. I don't give a fuck. Take Pittsburgh minus 5.5. So there we go.
Clip that one off.
Clip that off. That's the picks. That's the picks for today. So Nick gets an opportunity here to make a move, maybe or to go all the way to close to last place. I think I'm only 5 games back. So it'll get interesting. We'll see. Big Web's best bet of the week. What do you got,
gentlemen? I'll tell you what. We were damn close to having everything still alive.
Damn close.
Damn close. That's Seahawks. My favorite word. If you guys liked my video, watched my video, you'll see that we'll pull out 3/4 of that parlay yesterday. But just that we lost that under. But full transparency, we're down to 1280, boys. We were down to 1280 starting the weekend. We lost 320 yesterday. We got aggressive and went for it. So that's we're down 1,600. Team Big Web is down 1,600, but that's true transparency right there. But we're going to piss it all away today. I'll tell you what we got going on. I got a $200 4-way parlay. Baltimore Ravens, pick 'em. Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, over 47.5. We talked about that football game. It's going to go back and forth. I took the Saints minus 2.5 and Pittsburgh minus 2.5. Those are two great buys, keeping both of those under a field goal. 200 pays 769 there. Got one more. $200 2-way. Look at these numbers. Pittsburgh.
Look at them.
Let's take a look.
Pittsburgh minus 2.5.
All right.
And Zook's favorite number, over 46.5. Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, 200.
Cash it, baby.
200 gets us 402, doubles your money there. Go with Big Web today. I'm feeling good.
We're supposed to do locks, my bad. We're not going to do underdogs, but I forgot to do aces of the week. By the way, Aces Wild, Columbia, Illinois, 208 North Main Street in Columbia, Illinois. Go over there, tell Alex Schlemmer that the boys from the 50 and Brews on the Balcony sent you over. Get some ice-cold beer. You can play Lobster Mania and all those great slot machine games over there. They have 5 machines for your pleasure over there. For your pleasure. They have 5 machines over there.
5 machines ribbed for our pleasure.
Ribbed for your pleasure. They have TVs over there. You can watch sports. And you're in Illinois, so you can get on your DraftKings or you can get on FanDuel, whatever sports betting app you may have. You can live bet over there while you're enjoying the games and having a good time over there at Aces Wild. 208 North Main Street in Columbia, Illinois. And our other great sponsors, K. Roberts Remax Gold. You can get involved and obviously go online, stlhomes4u.com. STL Homes, the number 4, YOU.com. And K. Roberts, best in the business. She can sell your house. She can help you buy your dream home. She works around the clock. And as she always says, she wants you to begin as clients but remain as friends. She wants to keep in touch to make sure you're happy with your home purchase or the sale of your home. So give her a call today, 314-409-4113. Once again, online, stlhomes4u.com. Sarah Barron, Family Finance Mortgage, 314-537-1282. Again, somebody else that works around the clock that has always helped out with me, with telling me about the new rates, about refinancing our home. She helped us get in our new home with the help of Kay and get us the right number that we wanted and to help us just really lock in everything and kind of explain how the whole financial process with buying your home or selling your home works. There's a lot to it. She made it easy, and she makes it easy, too, by working around the clock for me and for all of her clients. So give her a call today, 314-537-1282, online at familyfinancemortgage.com. All right, gentlemen, let's go with Aces of the Week. Zook, what do you think?
I'll go ahead and take the Ravens for my ace this week. I don't like the hook, obviously. They're minus 3.5, but I like them better than the Bears, who I could see losing by 2 touchdowns pretty easily, and I like them better than the Steelers, who have been in shambles for the last month. So give me the Ravens. I really do kind of have a feeling about them today. I think that they're going to be able to run QB power and counter and run all their Army-esque offense against the Titans today, and I don't think the Titans are going to be able to stop them.
This is like playing blackjack. It's tough to find an ace. I tell you, we're looking at these spreads, and I don't like any of the regular spreads today. I really don't. But the shortest one, the one I like the best, I guess, is the Ravens minus 3.5. Give me that one.
Nick?
Yeah, sticking with the same. Acing on the Ravens. I think Tennessee has a great chance to win this game outright, but it's the lowest spread. I'm on the Titans at 10.5, and I'm on the underdog Browns at 6. So I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. Seems like my best chance here to really feel solid about one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the Browns game, but I'm going with the Steelers as my lock, minus 5.5. I just don't see any way they don't win that game by a touchdown or more. It could be wrong. It's been a tough year, but everything reads into the Steelers dominating that game. They're at home. I don't know if there's any fans in Pittsburgh. Is there anybody in Heinz Field? I have no idea. Regardless, it's not the same environment.
I thought maybe they had a couple, but
yeah. So maybe there's a few, but it's not enough to be a playoff atmosphere. But I just think Pittsburgh is a better team. The Browns are against it. First ever playoff game since 2007. First for Mayfield. Just a lot going against them. So I'll take Pittsburgh as my lock of the week. And that'll do it for Wild Card Weekend. Again, we'll have shows all the way through Super Bowl. We're talking about doing a longer stream on Super Bowl, breaking down the game, having some fun, playing some games, getting people involved, maybe giving away prizes and stuff. So we'll keep you updated on everything we do on Super Bowl Sunday. Depends on work schedules for the day jobs, so we'll let you guys know. But we'll be a lot of fun. So keep at it. We'll be here the rest of the season on Sundays here on From the 50. For Big Web, for Zook, for Nick Tolley, I'm TJ Weber. We'll see you next week.